Does any other company use a insert in their hollow body iron?
I mean, everyone has something inside.
Oh, okay. So it's just not
If you
purely
don't,
hollow.
it's going to sound. Yeah, if you don't, it's going to sound like a baseball bat.
Okay.
There has to be some kind of a
That'd be
damping
awesome.
material to make
That
it
would be
sound
awesome.
like an iron.
Hey, I think a market is there.
Like the old Sasquatch driver.
There's still some SQ drivers out there.
So that's why I say I think this will. There obviously is something there.
Or the
They'll
sumo.
settle out of court like it always happens, and we'll forget about it in a year. This is the cost of doing business in the U.S. basically.
Everyone, welcome back to the Loggerhead Golf Podcast, episode 39. Getting into Pebble Beach this week. And unfortunately, we did not get to see the entirety of the tournament due to weather conditions. What do you guys think?
Some bad weather on the West Coast this week, right?
Yeah, it's pretty bad. A lot of rain over there, and I think the wind was blowing like 40, right?
Minimum.
Yeah.
I think that was at the low point.
I said, if I was playing that golf tournament, I'm glad I don't got to play a fourth round.
Just wonder how you got out, with the weather coming in, making them stay till Sunday. I mean, that was pretty scary, probably all those private jets leaving.
I bet.
Wasn't it the female that was hitting like driver off of number 7?
Oh, during the practice round.
During the practice round.
During the practice
Yeah.
round on Wednesday. They, and he barely just like 173 ball speed and almost
snuck it
came
onto the
down.
green, yeah.
No, it ended up
Oh, it went
going
over?
just
Oh,
over.
okay.
Yeah, still, that's nuts. Unbelievable.
They always get tough weather for that tournament this
Yeah.
time of year.
It's February. I mean, you're a little bit further north than people kind of think. It is in California, but it's not San Diego, LA. It's just a little bit further north. It always gets that little bit of
So
weather.
February is a rough year weather-wise.
I mean, I think the only time they had good weather was probably when they hosted the U.S. Open, because that was in June. But everything else, every other time. And I think that tournament kept getting, wasn't it later in the year and then just kept creeping south?
It used to be
February.
in April.
Yeah.
It
And
used
then
to
it
be
just
in
kind
April.
of kept creeping it down to
Essentially,
make the schedule right.
the Florida swing is what canceled or what forced
Moved
that
it up,
tournament.
yeah. Now, this was
TV rights too. I mean,
Well,
yeah. I said no. This was the first time of it being an elevated event, correct?
correct.
What did we think of the difference in format for this event from it being the typical pro-am that we've always seen to it being an elevated event and trying to be a pro-am?
Well, I think they destroyed the pro-am side of it.
Yeah.
They made it a 2-day event. I think I heard it was like 70,000. Went from 35,000 to playing it to 70, but I think it was closer to 100,000 for the amateurs to play, and that's for 2 rounds. Where last year, 35, I get 4 rounds.
Yeah.
If you make the cut, as the amateur did for playing on Sunday. But now it was Thursday and Friday, and I think the television coverage, I think I might have saw maybe Tom Brady a couple times, once or twice, Josh Allen once or twice, Pau Gasol once or twice, and then that was really it. You didn't see before Thursday and Friday were always
it was
like
always
a mix.
they featured, they highlighted
Correct.
the AMs, and I would say to me it almost felt like they were trying to sweep it under the rug, like they were trying to hide it as much as they could.
Right.
And
would
I don't
agree
know
with
why.
that.
Why even have a pro-am if you're
I mean,
gonna
I
do
get
that?
that's the thing because they ultimately wanted to make it an elevated event to showcase Pebble Beach. So
Right.
we don't have a major going back there for a while. So they were like, okay, how do we, for our elevated events, we can't do waste management. We did that last year. What other course do we want to throw in there? Oh, let's throw in Pebble Beach. And then it's almost like, oh, crap, we forgot that there's AMs part of this.
Well, I think they did that simply for the fact that AT&T.
Mm-hmm.
I
Well,
think
yeah, that's fair.
a
That's-
major sponsor of the PGA Tour. They threw them a huge bone by trying to get a better field, out there for this one rather than just the regular one. But
Yeah, because it's never a great field. You have one or two top 10 players in the world playing it.
well, how many guys that you saw that were elevated that are in the top 50, 20 in the world that said, "This is my first time playing it in the Pebble Beach Pro. This is my first time. Other than the 2019 U.S. Open, I've never played there before." It's like, I mean, and that's a reward for Pebble Beach. I mean, if anything, it
almost
slaps
worse.
everybody else in the face.
I was going to say, to
They
be honest,
supported
though,
that event forever.
the reason why they don't want to play it is because of how brutal the golf course is, how hard it is. I mean,
And plus, it was only 2 courses this year. They took Cypress out, right?
yeah.
No, not Cypress.
Cypress.
Monterey.
I'm sorry,
Monterey
Monterey.
Peninsula.
Yeah. So
I was saying,
Yeah.
trust me, they all played Cypress probably Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah.
they took that out. So I just thought it was, I think they just tried to cram it in. It's like a traveling circus. All right, guys, you got to go to Pebble this year.
Do we have too many AM circuit? Like, I feel I never really cared for the Pro-Am portion of it, the AT&T. I
never
rarely
did anything for me
I
either,
never
but-
watched the tournament because one, I can't stand they overshow Bill Murray and his whole shtick.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that.
But I always felt like with the Amex being the Bing Crosby, which is the official, like the Pro-Am, and then you have one tournament after that, and then another Pro-Am. I always just felt like when are we going to get into golf? And that's why I think the Waste Management Phoenix Open has gotten so big, is because it's actually the first tournament that you kind of get into golf. Because there's no...
Well, I think, at the same time, guys, when you start forgetting your roots,
I was gonna say this,
and you start forget,
Pro-Ams are where the PGA Tour
I know Pro-Am's where it started, but I just feel like having just one tournament in between it, that we talked about how there was no players there to come into it was Pro-Am, Tory, Pro-Am. Just feels like a lot.
I think it was just poor scheduling on the
Well,
tourist,
that's how it's
on the
been
tourist
for the
part.
past 2 or 3
but now
years.
with the highlighted events or elevated events, you start to pay attention to it a little bit more.
True.
You know what I mean?
and these events were going on before television.
No, yeah.
So I mean, it's not like it's not like it was made for TV.
That's why I love the Bing Crosby. And I wish it was still called the Bing Crosby Pro-Am. But...
Well, somebody found a way to make it look easy.
I was gonna say, Wyndham Clark shooting 60 in round 3
to win.
Apparently to win.
Before we get off the amateurs though,
Yeah.
who won the Pro-Am?
I
I don't
tell
have
you.
no clue. Couldn't tell you.
How about the guy who finished maybe even par as the number 3 or 4 ranked player in the world, Rory McIlroy? His team won, and that man finished. Where did he finish in the tournament? Like maybe -1 or 2.
No, I think
So I think his amateur might have had a little handicap.
good-
issue.
had a good
we
handicap.
learned that with Aaron Rodgers.
Sandbagger?
We learned that with Aaron Rodgers. What was he, like a 7 index that shot 73 or
Yeah,
something
they
like
lowered
that?
him to like a 3 this year or
Yeah,
something like
they
that.
took him way
Yeah.
down.
But no, I just don't want to get off topic. But it was just that was to your point though. Who won? It was like
Yeah,
it was like
they
an
didn't cover it.
afterthought.
No,
I did end up seeing how the players were notified on Thursday that it was more than likely going to be a 54-hole event. So we kind of had some conversations yesterday, like, well, imagine the players if they knew Saturday was the last round. It's like, no, like Wyndham Clark said it in his post round, they all knew.
Yeah.
They all knew that they were pretty much playing for their position that Saturday. Whoa, geez, man.
That's aggressive.
Wow. So, I mean, which
But what does that do for you? I mean,
know-
I mean, it's like, you know what? I'm not really going to try hard on Saturday because I'm going to play tomorrow. And then all of a sudden, wait a minute, there's no tomorrow. I'm going to try really hard today.
You know what it kind of reminds me of is like when they forecast rain might be happening at a NASCAR race. It's like you're racing to the caution flag, basically. It's kind of
You're
what
racing
that,
the halfway mark.
Yeah, you're
it's like,
racing. You're
well,
racing
technically, you're always racing to the caution.
no, I mean like the caution flag could become a checkered flag if it.
So you're going to do
race
different
gets stopped,
strategies,
right?
different
Right.
things here and there
Yeah.
to try to make sure that at least maybe I roll the dice and I'm leading at the halfway mark, and then
Right.
if it goes on, then I'm screwed. If not,
Yeah.
I'm going to win. But
I say.
to say that it was going to be a 54 hole, then your mindset on Thursday, Friday, and even Saturday had to be go.
Yeah. Definitely
and,
changes your
and if
game
you waited
plan.
till Saturday and said that, you know what, like Ludwig, if he would have been like, oh, I really didn't realize that I needed one more birdie, to tie the lead, wrong. You knew it.
Yeah, you had a feeling at least
Correct.
anyway. I say a lot of implications based around shortening to a 54-hole event, right?
I think there was quite a few people upset, but like you said, probably read the fine print.
If for anybody that was upset, there was a lot more people that are not upset that they're going to get their money back for picking a bad pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, the guys that are upset were the ones that were going to make money. And then who are what? And, any betting is 50-50 and the house makes the vig. But, I think there was more people, that were getting their money back. They're like, you know what? I'm cool
I'll
with
take
this.
that. Yeah. That's a win. Yeah. I don't know if anybody was betting on Wyndham in this one.
Yeah. But
I was going to say, I mean, you kind of brought it up. Did like, let's say DraftKings, did they give people at least their entries back?
That's what I was
Yeah,
reading.
What it sounds like.
They
Yeah.
refunded the entries. So then, yeah, you got nothing to be bad at.
You didn't lose anything.
Yeah. If anything, like I always say, I'm just going to roll it into next week.
Yeah.
So
no,
switching,
I thought that round of golf that he played, though, was unbelievable. I mean, what was it, 179 feet of putts he made? And that didn't even include the one that, for bogey off the green because it obviously didn't count as a putt. You know, so I just thought the kid played really, really well. It was fun to watch.
He putted really well, it sounds
It's fun
like.
to watch. Well, he played well. I mean, he hit it to a foot on like
if you had to make 150 foot of putts.
Well, they're for Eagles.
Well, okay, all right.
Come on now. Dang, son. You're harsh.
Yeah.
I mean,
But he did. I mean, he drained a couple long ones here and there. But I mean, what person doesn't when they shoot? You know,
it takes,
when they
it
shoot
takes
12
a little bit of
under.
that to shoot a low round.
Yeah. So
I mean, there was some good golf on both tours.
I was gonna say I was watching while that was going on. I was actually watching the LIV tournament.
Yeah. I was actually watching the LIV tournament as I was feeding babies whenever to Kyle's house. And we were watching some of the LIV event.
Yeah.
But incredible. I think, what did he shoot, 59?
Yeah, Joaquin Neiman first round shot 59.
12 under. He shot the same thing as Wyndham Clark. 12
Okay,
under.
gotcha. That's cool.
But one stroke less.
How many strokes did he finish the round with? How many strokes did he finish the round with?
Don't know. What did he finish? 15 under? 16 under?
Oh, no.
No. How many strokes did he finish his round with? The first round.
Oh, 59.
Yeah.
Cool. What's the scorecard say?
59.
Okay. The scorecard doesn't say 12 under. It
All I'm saying
says 59.
I you know my stance on, 59s. If it's a par, the guy that
care
shoots
what
12
it
under
is.
on a
If
72 course is not held any less, any more, any.
I'm not calling
than
it
a
more impressive
12
than Wyndham Clark's
on a
60.
71.
I'm not calling it more impressive.
I'll even go back to Jim Field's
it's
58.
regardless.
There's not one single person here that has said,
Yeah.
I don't know why you think that, but not one person has said it's more impressive than Wyndham Clark's 60.
No,
I
it's
think
just-
Wyndham Clark's 60 is more impressive because
Probably a harder golf course.
because he had a double bogey staring in his face.
But
But I'm also going to say Joaquin Neiman being 9 under through 10 holes.
Yeah, it's
I say,
pretty stout.
regardless of the golf course and the par of it, 59
is 59.
is less than 60. Okay.
Yes.
That's all I got to say about that.
And guess what? And I mean, we look at it this way. Hey, we look at it this way. I mean,
it's the number of strokes.
I say we look at it this way. The golf course itself hasn't changed at all. The PGA Tour played Mayakoba as a par 72. Well, LIV took a par 5, turned it into a par 4. That's why it's a par 71. So therefore, 59 would have been 59 no matter what.
Right.
Wasn't him like the last 3 holes, he kept leaving it on the lip?
I mean, they
Wyndham?
Wyndham.
Wyndham,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Wyndham.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, some of those balls were like they were coming in and just abruptly stopped.
Yeah.
Just looked like
17
it
was
hit
brutal.
a wall.
Got my tongue
Hit a
out.
wall of wind.
But other than that, I mean, not having golf on Sunday at Pebble was great for LIV because
It highlighted their event.
it put all the eyes on LIV. Which
I say, and to be honest, the players delivered. I mean, the golf on Sunday on LIV was really good.
you look at that leaderboard and you're like, okay, this is they definitely stepped it up a notch because you had John Rahm right there in his first event on LIV. You have Joaquin Neiman, Sergio Garcia, Dustin Johnson, Brooks Koepka, Tyrrell Hatton.
Yeah.
You had all the top players, names we've known for how long now, showing up. And then also you have like my biggest thing is if I didn't do any betting or anything, but Dean Burnminster is going to be on, like he has to be on everyone's radar because that guy's won 2 weeks in a row on the DP World Tour. He's in good form. He finished right there in fourth
So he was like
place.
the top 5. Now, I mean, Joaquin Neiman ultimately ended up winning, but he kind of spotted the field 2 strokes, right?
Yeah. If you Joaquin Neiman took a people's drop.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call it the people's drop because I know every single one of us here.
This
if we
good
go
right
out
here.
and
Yeah, all right, just throw it down.
yeah, he incurred an overnight 2-stroke penalty.
Yeah.
So he the cameras got him. So supposedly on Saturday, he took a drop. He hit it in the penalty area, and when they picked out the point it crossed, he didn't put a tee down.
Oh.
So he just like stepped back like a foot and then dropped it, played it in from there. He didn't technically measure it out. Under the old rules, you could do that. Under the new rules, you can't because we are actually given a drop zone and
Well,
the radius.
I think everybody that wants pace of play, I think he was just trying to.
Right. I mean, there's plenty of reasons why you don't go through all the steps.
I mean, there was a lot of rules saying, did you know that his group, all 3 days got put on the clock?
It doesn't surprise me.
They finished 2 holes behind the entire shotgun.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
So I saw some tweet where they're like, this has to be new for Jon Rahm. The fact that they're actually enforcing pace of play.
yeah.
Because we know the PGA Tour does not.
When you're in a shotgun start, you got to, I mean,
keep it moving.
you got to keep it moving.
But I think you couldn't have, like, if you look at LIV, you couldn't have asked for a better event.
No,
you
it
couldn't
was-
have asked for a better start. To
It
the
was
season.
funny. I'm sorry, I'm going to sidetrack for just a second. On the Sunday's round on the third hole, when Neiman's ball was plugged up into the mangroves and like it was, kind of up in the air, you could tell he was going through some PTSD taking that drop. He was going to make sure he took
Well,
that.
you see in the playoff when he was taking relief from the sprinkler head, he
Yeah.
dropped it and he's just like
"You
eyeballing
sure
the
this
ref.
is
He's like, I'm good. I'm good.
Just brings out a chalk line next time, pops it,
You're like, you're only going to make that mistake once,
But that ultimately he ended up beating Sergio Garcia in a playoff.
How about the playoff? Like finishing in the dark.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
The good thing they had the Jumbotron on the 18th green.
I know.
I was gonna say they wouldn't.
It lit it up,
Joaquin Neiman was ready to just come back the next day, and Sergio just gave him a look.
like, "Nah,
He's
let's
like,
go."
Let's go.
Yeah. He's like, "Okay."
Let's go. But the crazy thing is not being able to see really anything off the tee box. And Joaquin Neiman's 3 drives, the last 3 holes, those were unbelievable. 345, 350, and all his divots are like right here.
Yeah, I mean, when you watch if you watched it as like replayed, like all those 3 shots look like they came from the same spot.
But as far as recap goes, I mean, he won individual, team wise. Jon Rahm's team,
Yeah.
first event, and they blitzed the field. For
How
the most part.
about because on Rahm's team is Caleb Surratt, right?
Yeah.
How about who had the better professional debut, Caleb Surratt or Nick Dunlop?
Caleb.
I mean, he was in his college dorm last week, and this week he's a
He
millionaire.
was moving out of his college dorm last Tuesday.
So
Don't even know what his signing bonus is.
it don't matter.
It don't matter. It don't matter.
He's rich.
Yeah, no, that's cool stories. He's from Charlotte, went to play at Tennessee. The club I worked at down in Naples, we hosted one of the top junior events. It's an invite only called the Terracotta. Well, it's not junior; it's a top amateur events because Stuart Hagestad, all those guys come down to play in this invitational. He won it back-to-back years.
Oh, wow.
And the golf course is, I mean, fastest greens you could play on, 3 or 4 under. The first year, I think he shot 6 under and kind of boat raced everybody. The second year, I think it was a little closer, St. 1. So, like, this kid's been a high profiled. He's been given sponsor exemptions. I think he's made the cut in 3 out of the 4 PGA Tour tournaments that he was given sponsor exemptions on. So it's like he was on the rise. So a lot of people, when they announced Caleb Surratt signing, it's easy for a golf fan to say, I have no clue who that is.
Yeah.
Well, where was he in PGA Tour U? Was he number 1? Or
Well,
was
he's a sophomore, so
He
it
wouldn't
doesn't.
qualify.
Oh,
it
no, you
doesn't
can still do it because it's going to be
I think
deferred.
he
But
was
it's just
in the
not for
top. I think he
seniors, so-
was in the top 10. I mean, he's the youngest ever player to be a SEC first team All American. So like college wise, he was trending better than you guys likes of Justin Thomas, things like that. Big names that have played in the SEC. So it's I remember seeing the
What we're
rumors
trying to say is
last
he's
week.
got pedigree.
Yeah, I remember seeing the rumors last week, like Caleb Surratt going to LIV, and I'm like, wow, that'd be surprising. I mean, he's pretty low key.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, if you know you're going to play on Jon Rahm's team, you're going to make a little bit of money. Yeah, smart
It's like,
decision.
yeah, I'll do that.
So I think T14 is what he finished.
Yeah.
He made a triple bogey with 6 holes to play to drop his team back into back with the field.
But yeah,
Finishes around 5 birdies in a row. They win
That's nuts to me. Absolutely nuts.
5 birdies in a row.
how much did that triple cost him though? Like on the individual side.
I mean, yeah, you can say it cost him. I mean, because there's no guaranteed if he didn't triple that he would make 5 birdies.
I'm just saying, like theoretically, like if you don't make the triple, right? Because you can never really
Well,
truly
14th place paid $350,000.
right. So what? 3 shots higher than that pay?
A little bit more.
A little bit more.
I mean, it
More
costs him
than
some
three-
money.
more
I
than
mean,
$350.
Yeah, I think. I mean, we could probably look it up, but it cost him some money. I mean, I always use that term. You can't get back bogeys. Like,
Yeah.
you make a birdie after a bogey, you got the strike, but you still lost a shot. You don't ever really get it back.
But but to finish the round like that, which ultimately gave their team cushion for Jon Rahm to make a quad on the last hole for their team to win. So Jon Rahm's team first, their team, like Jon Rahm joked on Monday, he didn't know who his team was. on Sunday. They ended up winning.
Don't matter.
Wow.
They end up winning. So,
Good for them.
so they split the $4 million. The podium stuff still.
It's a little weird.
I'm not there.
Yeah, I don't think it's not quite F1.
Yeah, not quite.
Now there are some rumors around LIV right now about a certain somebody
A certain two people.
making a comeback.
Oh.
I was thinking something else.
But yes, two.
You're not including the two people I was thinking of.
And two people that you're thinking of too. There's some stuff.
I know the two people. Who's making a comeback?
Rumor is that AK may be coming back.
Anthony Kim.
Yeah,
It won't be this week.
Who?
I think they're announcing Saudi.
yeah.
Who?
Anthony Kim.
I remember.
Can I be a hater?
Yeah.
Can I?
He had belt buckles, didn't he?
Yes, he had the biggest belt buckle on tour.
Can I be a hater?
Go for it.
Go.
Okay. So when AK was playing golf, I didn't play golf. I actually hated it. I only played on Father's Day with my dad. So
Thank you.
Maybe you should have stuck with that.
Thanks.
so I only played it when my dad forced me to play. But so I was sitting here and they're like, AK's making a comeback. I understand that. The reason why he's not playing is because of how much money he's making insurance wise.
Supposedly, yeah.
Supposedly. Based off of his number of starts and his win total, his career doesn't even add up to being better than Harris English's. So I don't get what the hype is around Anthony Kim because he wasn't the next Tiger.
It was
because
he
folded like
wasn't.
a lawn
He
chair.
wasn't for sure. I think with AK, reason why so many people
He was
gravitated
a personality, right?
his personality.
Yeah.
He was Ricky before Ricky.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So I mean, if you look at him, he is Ricky Fowler.
yeah, like
You
quite
know,
literally.
as far as he
yeah.
had such
I mean,
a
probably their
presence.
careers are very similar
He's
too.
flamboyant. I mean, he was that kind of guy that he wasn't a
I love the belt buckle.
stuffed shirt kind of guy coming out on tour. Blah blah blah. He was a personality as well.
Yeah.
But as far as what he did, I mean, he had 3 wins under the age of 24, whatever.
I said once he
Tiger
finally
did,
broke through and won,
and stuff like that. But he
it's
was
kinda-
out there for a while.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have the
Is he a California guy too?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Plum Desert guy.
To your point, Nick. I mean, he doesn't have the pedigree that warrants.
Like, he's not gonna- like, to
he's
me-
a cult hero right now more
Yeah.
than anything else.
I was gonna say, do you guys think Liv's thinking is if they get Anthony Kim, they bring in the golf fans that
Correct.
the early 2000s golf
Correct.
fans. Okay. That
Because he will bring a following with him. So many people have speculated on whether he would return to professional golf or not. That's what it
And
is.
I think it also fills a demographic,
Yeah.
for them as well.
Can we start making custom Loggerhead belt buckles?
I mean, I think we've tried that, hadn't we?
No, like big ones.
Oh.
As long as it'll hold a sun drop.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Flips down to hold the ball marker.
It's a multi-tool belt buckle.
I think so. But the two people I was referring to is
Xander Schauffele. And
Xander Schauffele and Victor Hovland.
Yeah.
They both withdrew from
the
waste management.
Do you think that a lot of the guys now LIV's going to see a uptick in these because of what that agreement was that they signed, with the sports group, to where it's almost like now you're an employee
We didn't even
tour.
say that. We didn't even announce that.
You're an employee of the tour. You're no longer the tour. It's not. I don't think it's a.
You're no longer. It's not a member-run
Correct.
organization.
Right.
You're an
Correct.
employee.
You've got a financial advisor that you have to answer to. So now you're being told where to be, when to be, and how to be.
If you rely on us for your announcements, yes, the PGA Tour has reached an agreement. They have received a $3 billion investment from the Strategic Sports Group, which is made up of 10 to 12 owners of various
Investors,
of sports groups.
But I just think
you have the Fenway Group, you have Arthur Blank of the Atlanta Falcons. So
The Mets, Steve Cohen.
the PGA Tour is going to be able to essentially self-fund themselves going forward starting next year.
Good for them.
So, but I just think that you may see guys that make the jump now because you know what?
They don't wanna be part of that
the
model.
schedule anymore.
Well, you saw Rory McIlroy this past week.
Oh yeah.
Rory, I think, is on the way out.
Yeah.
If anything, he might not go to LIV. I think he'll strictly only play in elevated events and DP World Tour. So you see, he was beefing with Jordan Spieth this week
Yeah.
because Jordan Spieth was running around telling everybody, we don't need Piff's money. We don't need
That's
DP
because
World
Jordan
Tour's
Spieth don't
money.
want to have somebody telling him where he's got to be every 24/7.
We don't need, and then Rory McIlroy is like, whoa. We're not in a position to say we don't need anything. You know, supposedly they had to have a one-on-one conversation because Rory was like, okay, so there's a group out there that wants to give us more money to start a world tour.
Right.
And you're going to go out as Rory, or Jordan Spieth is the Rory of the PGA Tour now. He's like the head honcho guy other than Tiger Woods. So to run out and say we don't need, Rory McIlroy is now, you've seen, he's starting to step back and saying, okay, what do I got to do that's best for me?
Well, I just think there's going to be a lot more conversations, and that's all I was bringing up with guys like that. You may question, like I would have never thought Victor Hovland this deep into the season, you know, would jump, but you know,
a lot of players are also canceling because the weather's going to be terrible.
I think you got to
Phoenix
really
this
ask
week.
what the weather's going to be at Waste Management.
He might want to go to Vegas for the Super Bowl.
Victor?
No,
I don't think so.
I will say Victor Hovland is very surprising, and so is Xander Schauffele because Victor always plays well there. He went to, I think he practices out of Arizona. So it's like a lot of this Waste Management Phoenix Open, even though they're trying to make it like, oh, it's a stadium, it's a party. No, the players play there because it's great weather.
And it's basically a home game.
And it's a home game.
But, you know, you also take a look at it. The man did finish 58th of 81. You know, he didn't play that well. You know, what has he really done so far this year? Does he need to rethink his schedule and say, you know what, I need to pull it back a little bit?
I think that's what a lot of players are doing. Well, because you don't need to go play in these events anymore.
No.
Go finish, like you said, go finish 14th in the elevated event like Peter Malnati and jump everybody in FedEx Cup points.
It is kind of crazy, but at the same time, so is the world ranking points. You know, I saw a GIF where, you know, they showed the two men that won over the weekend. You know, one
fell back 7
One
spots.
moves up to 6th. The other goes back to 74th. You know, but the question I have is like, you know, is Ludwig, how did he move up to 11th in the world?
With one win.
Yeah.
You know?
He won at the right time.
But yet Wyndham Clark's only 6th.
He's competed.
And he's got, in the last 16 months, or 8 months, he's got 2 wins and a major. And he's only 6th. And Ludwig's got 1 win and a couple seconds, and he's 11th.
Yeah.
He won against the right field.
Guys,
and has better finishes
Dustin
against a stronger
Johnson
field.
is 220th in the world.
Not that good of a player.
No.
Terrible.
No.
Why is he
Before you
allowed
know it,
out
these
there?
guys are going to start coming into section events.
I know. We're going to have to compete against them.
hey, Bryson was given that honorary membership. It won't be long. You know. If you're playing in the Dallas section, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Good luck.
Pro, you roll up. Hi, I'm Bryson DeChambeau. This is my partner, Dustin Johnson. Hey, guys.
Show and tell.
Show and
Tail. Copycat. No, big debate here.
Yeah.
Big lawsuit. TaylorMade is suing Costco for copyright infringement.
I got to ask you a question, though.
Yeah.
If you take away the Costco and the TaylorMade and you just looked at those 2 pictures, which one do you think is which?
You wouldn't have a way to know.
Oh, no. I think what you're asking, because I was going to bring up a point. Before we do that, you guys want to explain the litigation? Because I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. So
I get where you're going. I know.
Yeah, so I mean, TaylorMade is basically still known for copyright infringement on some key pieces. Like, basically, it's the same design as far as the tungsten insert, the speed foam.
I say, to quote their lawsuit, their key points is the hollow iron design, the dampening filler material, the iron with separate club face, welding methods for face insert, and positioning of internal weighting within a hollow iron. Those are the key factors that they are suing.
The only one they're going to win on in that sense, because how many companies have hollow body irons?
Almost
Single
everyone.
Everybody.
Okay, so that was just trash to throw in there. So they're only going to win on the actual like welding portion, the things like that.
To be honest, the kickers are also suing them for false advertisement claims as well too.
Oh yeah.
I think that's where they've got a better chance. Well, realistically, nothing's going to happen out of this in court. They're never going to make it to a courtroom.
No, because they're hoping that they just flood.
This will be settled out of court.
Yeah.
I mean, Costco made how much money last year?
Yeah.
I think they were the third highest grossing company or something.
They sell a lot of mayonnaise.
They sell a lot of stuff.
You know,
They're going to give TaylorMade their 15, 20, to $35 million out of court and just say, go on and do your own thing
Heck yeah.
and be done with it. I mean, that's what's going to happen.
I mean, that's what happened with
The Cushnet, that's what's
the
happened with
Cushnet,
I mean, several
They
other
settled out of
companies
court.
have sued Costco.
Gotcha.
You
the
know.
golf ball thing.
yeah.
And what did Cushnet get them on with the golf ball? So Cushnet sued them for patent infringements as well too, but also for false advertisement claims as well, because on the boxes they printed that their golf ball was as good or better than the number one ball in golf. Which, okay, make that claim, but you better have some results, some research to back that claim up.
They didn't have the research, so that's why they
They settled out of court.
Yeah,
So they proved who the number one ball in golf was.
They didn't.
So
Cushnet didn't have to prove who the number one ball in golf was. All they had to prove is that Costco did not know.
who the number one ball was?
Costco didn't do any testing to back that claim.
They didn't have any way to back up their claims. That's now false advertisement. You're making a false claim.
So now
And that's what they'll end up getting them on.
back
on
to the
this, is
TaylorMade,
like a
because
technicality of a
I
false
think
claim.
this is where my dad was trying to get to. You take these names away, build quality. Which one looks better?
The one on the right.
The one on the right.
Yeah. Because you have more design going into the club head.
I get that. I'm just saying
because there's more going on inside that
and again,
hollow.
this is just pure, just by the looks of it. The TaylorMade looks gross. That doesn't like how it's not. And maybe
there's not a constant foam
No.
all the way up the face of the club.
there's not even a constant foam within the iron.
For one thing, I would say this: we don't know how that club head was cut open.
Trust me.
I saw
I
it.
get that.
It was a
actually, they
table
did
saw.
They did a
Okay,
video.
yeah. And
it was
it's
a
probably-
band saw.
Yeah,
It
it could
was a
have.
circular saw, wasn't it?
No, just a band saw.
It could have pulled some of that material out as it was cutting.
I
it.
agree. I agree. But I'm just saying, just looking at this, I mean,
I do think.
Trust me, we all know the TaylorMade's a way better iron. The P790 is TaylorMade's best iron they've had for now. 5
Realistically
years.
speaking, you can't make a claim that a golf club that costs a third of the price of its original design is going to perform as good or better than the original design. That being said, realistically, the average person is going to look at these two golf clubs and they're going to think that they are essentially the same thing. Yeah. And that to me is a design and like patent infringement.
The Costco version has a polymer insert injected mold, and then that's a speed foam. It's a
Is it like
patented material.
urethane?
It's a
Right.
urethane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I could see if they're going to get them on verbiage. You can't say that, but I mean, I think Ping would like to have Ping, the original answer putter, would have to have a lot of conversations with a lot of modern day putter builders right now.
See, that's a little
Because
bit.
that's
a little bit different.
everything started from the answer.
I don't think that's the same argument though.
Oh no, I'm just saying that it's not the same
Because
argument.
because no
but
other people are saying this putter's better than a Ping.
It was for exactly, but
saying
also
verbiage,
too, they
that's
all have come up with their own manufacturing process for that as well too. The original Ping putters are just poured into a cast mold and cast.
Right.
Everyone else, like Scotty Cameron, they always give him crap about having the same design as the Ping answer, but he tweaked the design a little bit.
Well,
Like, he made his own proportions.
He put 3 dots on it. Okay.
He changed the size of the club head, the proportions of it, the bumpers, shaping of them have moved, and then he milled it from a piece of billet.
Correct. But
So the construction process changed.
But in golf, it's always happened. Where did Nike's first band of irons go?
Design is derivative
It
in
came
everything.
right the same thing from Titleist. When Tiger played Titleist, and then he made the jump to Nike, what did he do? Nike, build this. And Nike built it.
That's what I say. Design is derivative.
So I just think they got.
It's no different than the
feelings
Apex
hurt.
19s came from Nike because all the Nike players, a lot of Nike players switched to Callaway.
TaylorMade got their feelings hurt. And
well,
now
and
they're
so this
doing
is kind of also the main point of it too is in, and this is what I was reading about in patent infringement cases. The way our court system has been ruling in it, it's not enough to just broadly state that like someone has infringed upon your patents. You've got to point out specifically what they have done. And I think in this case, that's where they're going to lose out in this battle. Because if we look at those two irons, they're not exactly identical. Like the process may be the same, the actual, like the broad strokes are the same, but they're different.
Does any other company use a insert in their hollow body iron?
I mean, everyone has something inside.
Oh, okay. So it's just not
If
purely
you don't, it's
hollow.
going to sound. Yeah, if you don't, it's going to sound like a baseball bat.
Okay.
There has to be some kind of a
That'd be
damping
awesome.
material to make
That
it
would be
sound
awesome.
like an iron.
Hey, I think a market is there.
Like the old Sasquatch driver.
There's still some SQ drivers out there.
So that's why I say I think this will. There obviously is something there.
the
They'll
sumo.
settle out of court like it always happens, and we'll forget about it in a
Okay,
year.
say your grade and move on.
Yep. Par.
And then their plant will burn down in
This
China.
is the cost of doing business in the U.S. basically.
Duck and
cover. It's got to be especially for miles.
I like those.
I'm gonna.
What are they made of?
I don't hate very often or
It looks
throw
like
shade,
it looks
but
like Sherpas.
Yeah, like almost like lamb's wool.
this looks like I belong in Oregon or California.
Yeah, definitely looks like
That doesn't
Pacific
that doesn't
Northwest.
scream Aiken, South Carolina to
No,
you?
and it definitely has
Because
this
that's where
like
that course is.
Patagonia granola vibe
like
to
North
it.
Face jacket, you know. Yeah.
So there's a company that makes very similar head covers. The head cover market is flooded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've known that for how long now?
Yeah.
There's a company that I actually got. I ended up returning it because it was already like fraying. But like North Coast covers, it's in the name, kind of makes sense, right? It's like a Pacific Northwest style comfort. I like that style head cover, but
I just don't they got so much room for their logoing to get better than just putting a patch on it. I like the design of it. I almost feel like I can take the driver off, put it on my hand, and then wash my car with it.
It's
you mean dry off your
It's
car.
a multi-function
Or clean my
cover. I like
clubs,
it.
with it or something like
like
that.
it.
Or just keep your hands warm.
What do you
Like,
think? What do you think
those are
happens
mitts.
like in the rain when they get
you could
wet?
go skiing with those, like little ski mitts, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, multi-purpose.
Okay,
We're on to something here.
Very versatile. I give them a par. I think it's a great effort. I think it brings something different to the market.
I think the Tree Farms logo is top notch and more. So like that's their main logo. That's the logo, the swinging tree.
Yeah.
Bogey.
Par.
Give it a birdie. It's cool. Like them. I mean, I'd put it on my head cover.
How much do you think those are in the shop for?
Well, how much, if I look at it and think it's in the shop for, I would think $35 to $40, but realistically, I know it's probably in that $85 to $100
Yeah,
range.
yeah.
What's the driver one looks a little short.
Yeah, that may not be a driver. You don't know, Steve.
Might be. Well, these might be mitts.
Yeah.
We just don't know. Oh, what?
Hello.
Diamonds are forever, right?
Is that their
Very
new endeavor, or is this a
This is old.
one?
Nah.
Just
Because
something
I knew
finished.
McGregor was coming back out. They were trying to.
Well, they are coming
Right.
back out with like a hollow body.
Yeah, they're basically, I think, part of the new Hogan that's coming out. The Ben
Are they?
Hogan company.
Yeah.
They're owned by the same company at least, anyway. But no,
Dunlop.
this is older.
Great looking blade.
Yeah. What do you think about the build?
I think it'd be
Because obviously this person has had them looks like they've had them refinished, and obviously they got BB&F Co ferrules, so they've had them rebuilt.
I mean, they're
refinished.
they're beautiful.
Yeah.
Man, it's a good set of irons.
I'll say that's.
If you can hit them, you're a better player.
I like those irons.
They look really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what the M1 originally stood for in these?
No.
Nope.
It's the flex of the shaft.
Really?
Yeah. M1 was their stiff flex.
Okay.
Why they stamped it on the head, I'm not sure. But
I was gonna say. I mean, that's
I give it a birdie.
yeah, give it a birdie.
Yeah.
par.
Par.
I mean, yeah.
Flush.
Flush.
Old school.
What for? I just because it's old school.
I mean, somebody took the time.
Is there a Don
to-
White?
I mean,
Is
that,
there a Don White stamp on it?
I was fixing to say, I'm going flush on these.
Yeah.
All right, and there's a reason why. There's a really
Yeah.
small
I was
detail
gonna say,
nobody
I
else
just-
picked up on.
Whoa! Just
You
did.
finally did.
I did it.
But on the bottom club here, you can just barely see there's a DW stamped on the heel.
Don White.
These were ground by the legendary Don White iron grinder at
He is
McGregor.
the best iron shaper. Well, I know
debatable
that's
on
debatable,
that,
but
Yeah.
you
still to this day, I
he's-
mean,
Woo! Got a little rag egg on.
Yeah, I'm on.
if you see that DW on a stamp of clubs, you know that
You don't-
some
you
thought.
don't get rid of those.
Yeah.
He ground irons for Jack Nicklaus and during his
as we
heyday.
learned earlier in the podcast, you can't say somebody's the best.
Not for your. That's
All right, so be
Yeah,
careful.
without backing it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a
I mean,
claim
well,
there.
But no, that's a flush for me.
Yeah, they're flush for a lot of reasons. Number one, I've always liked the diamond muscle backs. I like having old golf clubs refreshed and refinished like that with the BBF Co ferrules. I think it's a cool build. And then they're
just
Don
make sure
Whites.
someone turns ferrules for these.
I was gonna say, it looks like they need to go on the belt
The
again.
very good
but-
job.
They need to be rebuilt because there's some gapping, and then the ferrules weren't turned. But
Yeah.
par.
DWs, they're flush.
Yeah.
Agree to disagree.
Last one.
Agree to disagree.
I really like that fair.
I still threw my head. Like I'm still wondering how this worked.
So the way this worked is he had BB&F Co. make some custom ferrules for him in a 335 to use for fairway woods and drivers.
Yeah.
So they're not 370 or 355 taper tips. They're a smaller
They're 335.
smaller internal diameter. Yeah.
I think it looks awesome.
Yeah, I like it.
I was like, I don't know why it's taking us this long to get to this. I like this. From the time I found BB&F Co. ferrules, I was like, why don't we have 335s?
You know what I
for
think would
fairway
look
woods and
really good
drivers?
on is if you have a bonded fairway wood.
No, that would look, yeah, that would look good.
Yeah, I like it. Flush.
It's not really coming up much higher than the band would anyway.
Nah.
Right.
Above the
You don't-
adapter.
yeah.
So
and
you
this,
know,
and I think if you're kind of wishy washy about custom ferrules in general, you don't see them when you're over the ball.
Yeah, yeah,
Or
if you're-
I should say, as a teacher, you shouldn't.
I say, if you're
You
paying
shouldn't-
attention
if you're
to
paying
it, then
attention
if
to that part of your
you
golf,
need to look at what you're focusing on.
I think driver fairway wood. It's kind of like those 2-inch ferrules that you put on the wedges that one time.
yep.
Is that you really don't see them.
But
Just eye
they are
candy.
seen.
They are there.
So, no, that's why you put them on your stuff, is so other people see them.
Yeah.
You know, but I love it. I think it's a flush.
Yeah.
Yep.
I agree.
say-
Flush.
Yeah, flushing.
BB&F Co. Send us some
I say, Patrick, you
335.
got to get those out to market quicker. I want some for my drivers.
Agreed.
Not singular, plural.
So you got 10 shafts. You got 10 shafts. I need 10 different
Which
ones.
one are you using this week?
I'll be using the same one, but I mean,
That
It
would
just
be,
took a long time to get here.
we're not going to talk about the basically fit cart of shafts I have in my closet from testing stuff.
that's how you decide which one you're going to play.
Yeah.
What ferrule you playing today?
Oh, yeah, that's
Driver.
right.
Oh, I'm playing this one.
Well, I think that's it for this week. We appreciate everybody listening. And if you would, please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Make sure you get those push bell notifications, and we'll see you next week.